Hello my friends and welcome back to another video. Today is a haul and I know that I did recently post a haul, but in my defense, I don't have one. I just really like to buy books, but I did not buy all of these myself. Some were sent to me, so I mean, you know, I guess that's kind of better. I don't know. So I thought it would be fun to share with you some of the books that I have recently acquired and talk a little bit about them, tell you how excited I am for them, you know, all that fun stuff. So let's get into a haul. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, this is probably the most exciting thing in this haul. I'm flabbergasted that I got this. Like, I can't even explain to you. I am literally shocked to my core that I have this. It came today. It literally shocked me so badly, but I got an ARC of the new Lisa Jewell coming out in August. This is None of This Is True, and it doesn't even have a cover on it. It just says cover to be revealed. So like, this is like a true ARC right here, and I'm literally, I don't have words. I love Lisa Jewell. I have really enjoyed everything I've read from her so far, and I just really enjoy her writing style, and I think her thrillers are really fun even though they are slightly predictable. I just really have a good time while reading them. So this is like a big deal for me. I am literally so like, I just don't have words to even describe how I feel about this. Thank you so much, Atria Books, for sending this my way. I am literally just like, I have no words. I'm just really excited. But this comes out August 8th. So it's actually like kind of a really far away date. So I actually don't know what this book is about because I didn't even know that Lisa Jewell was coming out with a new book this year until like very recently, so I haven't even read the plot, but I will read you what it says on the back. It says, celebrating her 45th birthday at the hot new local pub, popular podcaster Alex Summers crosses paths with an unassuming woman called Josie Fair. Josie, it turns out, is also celebrating her 45th birthday. They are, in fact, birthday twins. A few days later, Alex and Josie bump into each other again, this time outside Alex's children's school. Josie has been listening to Alex's podcast and thinks she might be an interesting subject for her series. She is, she tells Alex, on the cusp of great changes in her life. Josie's life appears to be strange and complicated, and although Alex finds her unsettling, she can't quite resist the temptation to keep going on the project. Slowly, she starts to realize that Josie is hiding some very dark secrets. Josie has inveigled her way into Alex's life and into her home, but as quickly as she had arrived, Josie Fair disappears. Only then does Alex discover that Josie has left a terrible and terrifying legacy in her wake, and that Alex has become the subject of her own true crime podcast, with her life and her family's lives in grave danger. Wow. That sounds amazing. Honestly, it sounds really good. I'm not that surprised because I do really enjoy Lisa Jewell's writing. So it sounds like something I'm gonna really like, and I am so excited to have this. I'm just like, I'm excited. Next we have My Haunted Home by Victoria Hood. This is a short story collection. Look at this cover. Look at it. Look at how cute this cover is. It's so pretty. I'm literally obsessed with it. I don't know too much about what these stories, you know, entail, but it does say that each story is a bite-sized piece of candy on a necklace of obsession. So that really intrigues me. I think it has stuff about grief and like obsession and stuff like that, and I don't know, like other things. I'm really not sure. I don't know too much about it, but it's very short, and you all know that I can't really resist a short story collection. I love short story collections. I am addicted to buying them. I just think they're a lot of fun, and I like reading them in between like slumpy periods or times when I don't really know what to pick up. I feel like they really come in handy. So I'm very excited to give this one a try and see what it's like and get a feel for this author. Next up we have His and Hers by Alice Feeney. So if you remember, I read Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, and I did not really love it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a pretty average thriller. I think I gave it like a 3-star, and so I wasn't really impressed. But recently I read Daisy Darker, and I really actually enjoyed that one, even though it was slightly predictable and it wasn't like super mind-blowing. I had like a lot of fun with it. So I decided that I was gonna give Alice Feeney another chance because we had one book on one end of the spectrum and the other book on the other end. So I was like, I need something else to kind of see if Daisy Darker was a fluke, or if, you know, maybe Rock, Paper, Scissors was the fluke. So I decided to go with this one. A lot of people like this one a lot from Alice Feeney, so I figured this was a safe bet to see if I like Alice Feeney or not. Well, the back says absolutely nothing. I didn't know too much about this, but it just says, when a woman is murdered in Blackdown, newsreader Anna Andrews is reluctant to cover the case. Detective Jack Harper is suspicious of her involvement until he becomes a suspect in his own murder investigation. So, got murder and suspects and suspicious people. So, I mean, you know, I feel like this could be good. I have no idea, but I'm hoping that this gives me a better grasp on how I feel about Alice Feeney as a writer. Next up is a anticipated release of mine, and that is Loteria by Cynthia Pelayo, and I talked about this in my anticipated releases video. This is a short story collection based on the game Loteria, which is basically a lottery game. And I am so excited because I actually played Loteria when I was growing up, and so I am very familiar with the game, and I just think that this is going to be so much fun. I believe that there are 54 stories for every card in the game. Each is based on a Latin American myth, folklore, superstition, or belief. And I am so excited about this. I think it sounds so good. I have read from this author before and I really enjoyed their writing and the book that I read. So I'm very excited to give this one a read. I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. I already said I love short story collections, so I just think this is going to be so much fun. Next up is a recommendation that I got from Sav, or Riveting Reads, here on YouTube. I love Sav, and she told me that I should read this one, and that is The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torre. She told me I would probably really like this one. Sav and I have kind of similar opinions on books. We kind of disagree on certain things, but I feel like we generally agree. So she told me that I should check this one out because I've been really in the mood for a really good thriller, and I believe this is about the main character who is a cam girl, and some people start going missing, or girls start going missing, and she thinks it's one of her customers because of like the fantasies that he talks about. It's similar to what's happening in the real world, so I think she gets like suspicious of that. Not too sure, but I have read from A.R. Torre just recently actually, so I am very interested to give this one a go and see what I think, and I do trust Sav. The next book I have is Runtime by Catherine Ryan Howard. So I decided to pick this one up basically for the same reasons that I picked up the Alice Feeney book. Catherine Ryan Howard is an author that I am very unsure about. One, I read 56 Days and I DNF'd it because I just did not like it. I really did not like that book. But then I read The Nothing Man and it was amazing, 5 stars, like it's one of my new favorites. So I thought that I would check out Runtime and see if I can get a better grasp on this author and how I feel about their writing. Maybe 56 Days was a fluke and I just really didn't like that plot because it was COVID related, and maybe I liked The Nothing Man because it was more, you know, true crime related. So this book is about a horror movie that's being filmed, and the main character is replacing the star of the show, and she's kind of like really late to the party, and then things are really weird and things are happening. I don't know, but I'm very interested in the film kind of vibe that we have going on in this one, and I don't know, I've heard a lot of good things about it. I think a lot of people really enjoyed this one, so I'm very interested to see how I feel about it, and maybe if I get a better understanding for how I feel about Catherine Ryan Howard's writing. Next up, we have The Twisted Dead by Darcy Coates. This is book 3 in the Gravekeeper series. Of course, I bought this book. I mean, are we surprised? I'm a Darcy Coates fanatic. I love everything that Darcy Coates writes, so I had to pick up the 3rd book in this series. I'm really enjoying this series, and I'm very interested to see where this book takes us. Also very interested to see how it compares to The Ravenous Dead, because so far book 2 is my absolute favorite. So I really want to see where this one, you know, comes into play, like what's happening, that kind of thing. I'm just very excited, and I just can't wait to read another Darcy. It's just it's a great time when I have a new Darcy Coates book to read. This next book is really out of my comfort zone, and honestly I'm kind of surprised that I picked it up, but I've been hearing a lot about it and I think it sounds really good. It's just something that I don't typically tend to gravitate towards, so I'm a little nervous, but that is Big Swiss by Jen Beagin, I think is how you pronounce their last name. I'm not quite sure if that's wrong. I'm very sorry. But this is more of like a literary fiction book, and I don't usually get along with literary work just because it's usually very like hard for me to understand, and my brain just doesn't really comprehend big things sometimes, and I just read a lot of easier books, so I'm a little nervous, but it sounds really, really interesting. This book is about the main character Greta, who transcribes these sex therapist sessions, and she begins like to be enamored with this one client, and then one day she hears the client's voice and recognizes them and is like, oh, that's her, and she kind of, you know, starts a friendship with her, but with a fake name, and so she doesn't know who she is, and she starts getting closer to her, and she really likes her, and like, but she doesn't know that she's listening in on her therapy sessions and transcribing them, so it's like a really weird kind of like dynamic. I don't know, it sounds very weird. The cover also is something that I kind of really liked. I don't know, it kind of really intrigued me. So I'm not sure if this is going to be for me, but I'm very interested in it, and I think knowing it's literary fiction before I go in will kind of help me set my mind in a place where I can hopefully try to grasp it better and understand it better if I know going in what to expect. So I hope I like this. I'm not sure though. Next up, we have Malice House by Megan Shepherd. I originally was not going to pick up this book because it didn't sound like something that I was going to absolutely love, but I've seen a lot of positive reviews for this one, and I don't know, I kind of wanted to give it a try. I'm a sucker for like these kinds of stories, and I just felt like, you know, why not give it a try? Why not see what it's like, you know, whatever. So I did end up buying this one. This is about the main character Haven, who is cleaning out her recently deceased father's seaside home, and she stumbles across this manuscript that he has written, and it's very creepy, very odd. There's a lot of like monsters in there and stuff, and she's an aspiring artist, so she kind of gets this like urge to illustrate the manuscript, but you know, things get a little weird and wild and crazy. I've heard there's like a lot of different kinds of things going on in this book, so I'm not sure I will 1000% love it, but it does sound really interesting and I want to give it a try, and I've never read anything from Megan Shepherd before, so I figured that this would be, you know, a fun book to test out. I'm hoping I like this one, so we'll see. Another anticipated release of mine is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. This was February's book of the month, and I was so excited. I jumped on it, and I'm so mad that I haven't read it yet, but you know, whatever. I have time, but I want to read this so bad. Basically, it's about the main character who has given up all hope that they'll ever be a successful writer, but then they get this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to attend this writing retreat that's like super exclusive, and I guess their former best friend and like rival is also attending, and I don't know. I've heard this book is wild and like insane and crazy and like over the top, and I'm kind of really excited because I kind of want an over the top thriller. I feel like I haven't read one in a really long time that really like sucked me in. I haven't had like a really good thriller, so I'm kind of hoping that this one will be that for me. It's got all the makings I love, you know, it's got an isolated setting, snow, writing, I guess, I don't know, but like I'm just really interested, and I really like the cover too. The cover is really, really cool. I've heard some really good things about this one and some really not so good things about this one, so who knows, but I'm very excited for it. Next we have a romance that was sent to me again by Atria Books, and that is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I've been seeing this book all over the place. I don't know that much about it. I know that the main girl is an ice skater and the main guy is a hockey player, and I mean, I can assume what's gonna happen. I've heard it's really, really, really smutty. At least that's what I've seen people saying, which intrigues me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very interested. I have never read a romance book with like sports in it, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I haven't read a sports romance, so very interested to see what this is like and if I enjoy it, because I don't like sports at all. I'm not a sports person, but I feel like this could be fun. I feel like it could be like a good time, you know, just a way to break up all the books that like, you know, are really like depressing and scary and, you know, horrifying and dark. So, you know, I feel like this could be a lot of fun, and I'm very interested to see if it's good. Another book that was sent to me by Atria, this is Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling. This comes out April 4th, so actually very soon, and the cover is so cool. I don't know very much about this. I think it's dystopian. I think so. It says it cleverly explores how the intersection of gender, class, and migration will impact who and what will survive in a warming world. So that fascinates me a lot. I don't think this is like anything I've really read, and it's not my typical area, but I really used to love dystopian books a lot when I was in high school. Like I read a lot of YA dystopian books. It was kind of a phase I had for some reason. I don't really remember. I think it's because the Hunger Games like started that for me. I went through like a phase where I was reading a lot of like dystopian books. But on the back it does say, in the far north of Canada, a team led by a visionary American architect is building a project called Camp Zero. With its fresh, clean air and cold climate, it's intended to be the beginning of a new community and a new way of life. So it sounds very interesting, and I actually am really excited about this one, and I'm actually really looking forward to trying this out because it sounds like something I could actually really love. These next two books were sent to me by a subscriber. Thank you so much, Katie. You are so sweet. Like, I don't think you guys know how much it like makes my day when you all just like think of me like that. Like, you don't have to at all, and it's just like such like an overwhelming feeling that like you all, I don't know, think of me like that. I don't know. It's very strange, but just thank you so much, Katie. You're such a sweetheart. The first one is A Fig for All the Devils by C.S. Fritz. This cover, look at it, look at it, look at it. This is about the main character who's had a really hard life, and they're basically like giving up, and they actually encounter the Grim Reaper, and I assume that they're gonna have like some kind of relationship. I've heard it's like kind of like funny and kind of like sad, and also just kind of like hopeful. That's what like I've heard, at least. I think this sounds really, really, really good. I've never read anything by this author, but I've seen a lot of positive reviews on this book, and the cover really got me, like I'm not gonna lie. Plus, when I read that the Grim Reaper was gonna be in it, I was just kind of like, why wouldn't I want to read this? This sounds exactly like something I would read. So I'm very, very excited to check this one out. And the second book is As the Wicked Watch by Tamron Hall. I've been wanting to try this book for so long. I've seen a lot of good things about it. I also just think that the cover is really, really pretty. I love the color. I don't know. It just really intrigued me. But I believe this is about the main character, Jordan, who is a TV reporter, and she's moved from Texas to Chicago, and she ends up covering this case, and she can't really like shake it. She feels like there's just something about it that she can't get over, and she believes that there is a serial killer and he's just kind of getting away with all this, and he's just kind of like hiding in plain sight, and I think she's going to attempt to solve the case. That's what I gather from the plot description. I think this sounds really interesting. It sounds like a thriller that I could really just like fly through and get like sucked into. I love thrillers that center around serial killers. I don't really know why. I don't know. I think that's just what I gravitate towards. I have no idea. But it sounds like something that could be really, really just like easy to read, and that's really what I look for in a thriller, is just like easy reading and like fun and entertaining. So I really think this could be a good one, and I'm very excited to try it. This will be my first book from Tamron Hall as well, so very excited to give this one a go. Okay, second to last is The Spite House by Johnny Compton. This is another anticipated release of mine. This is a haunted house story. It is about the main character who is on the run with his children, I believe, and he ends up getting this job as a caretaker for this house that is supposed to be really haunted, and as the caretaker he is supposed to keep like a record of everything and provide any evidence of like a haunting. And I don't know what else this book entails, but I have heard that it does like have a spin to it, like it's this author's like own spin on a haunted house, like a gothic haunted house. So very excited about this one. It's pretty short too, which I didn't know. So very excited. I love a haunted house story. I love trying out new authors, and I think this could be a lot of fun. The last book in this haul is another one of my anticipated releases, and that is Liar, Dreamer, Thief by Maria Dong. I think this book sounds so interesting. I don't know too much about it. I haven't seen too many reviews, but I know the bare minimum of the plot. But basically the main character, Katrina, is kind of obsessed with her coworker Kurt, and she says that she's not stalking him. She says it's kind of like a ritual to ease her like anxiety, and she ends up finding these like weird cryptic messages that Kurt knows that she's like watching him, and she ends up seeing him at this bridge and watching him like right before he commits suicide by jumping off, and he tells her that his death is all her fault. And so then she kind of goes on this journey to like look over everything that she's learned about Kurt from these years of watching him and figure out like what was really going on, like what's the actual story. I don't know, this sounds really bizarre. I really love the cover. It really intrigued me the first time I saw it. I just thought it was really eye-catching, and I really liked the face on here. I thought it was really cool. So very interested to see what this is like and see, I don't know, what is there to this story, because it sounds very odd and kind of bizarre, but I like odd and I like bizarre, so I'm really excited for this one. All right, my friends, that is it for this February end of the month book haul. I guess that's what this is. I am so thankful for the books that have been sent my way. I don't know, it's just a weird feeling to get sent books. It just feels odd. I can't really explain it, because to me I just feel like I'm a regular old person just reading books that I find entertaining and exciting, and so it's just weird to get sent books, especially like books that I'm really excited for. Just thank you to any subscriber, publisher, author who sends a book my way. You have no idea that it's just like a dream come true to read and review books. Like that's all I could ever ask for, so it's just weird to get sent them, but like in the best way possible. So just thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this haul. If you've read any of these books or they are on your TBR or you're excited for them, please let me know in the comments down below. We can chat about them. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoy hauls in general, give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know. That way I can keep doing these kinds of videos for you all in the future. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to my channel. We can become friends, talk about books, horrifying books, thrilling books, romance books, manga, all that good fun stuff. And with that being said, I hope you're having a great day, night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!